All right. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to another episode of The Lunch Date with Cazzy. This is indeed episode 9, season 2. I think last week I labeled it episode 9, and when I went back to check to put everything in order, it was actually episode 8 last week. So today is the real episode 9. So we are 9 shows into season 2. So we are definitely moving along pretty swiftly with this show. I can't believe this was just a vision last year, the beginning of last year, actually January of last year. It was just a vision, and here we are, 2 seasons in, 30 episodes down for season 1, and now we're in show 9. So today I have an amazing guest. I'm so excited to talk to my guest because, like you, I don't know a lot about my guest. I've recently met her, and I said, I've got to have you on my show. I love everything that she's doing. I have been onto her Instagram and Facebook and kind of snooping around, but I'm excited to hear a little bit more about Soul Upliftment. It's perfectly aligned for what we're doing in this series right now with Thrive in 2025. Last week we talked about branding and about marketing and getting your business and your logo and just getting yourself out there if you want to thrive in 2025 with your business, the small businesses, with the lovely Sue Jen. The week before we talked about just making some small changes, whether it's having meatless Mondays or just eliminating, certain foods that are not good for you. We talked about that. I mentioned about sea moss. I absolutely love my sea moss. I have it every single day. And I've gotten so used to the taste and the texture. So just making small changes. Next week, we will continue that series about thriving in 2025. The next month, so in February, I'm trying to get a series on finances together. So if you know anyone in the finance space, tax consultants and so forth, please send them my way. I'd love to do an entire 4 weeks talking just about taxes. I mean, we are in tax season, so now is the time. Now is the time to talk about that. So I just want to say welcome to everyone. Today is Tuesday, the 21st of January. If you are on the East Coast here in the US, where I'm located in Atlanta. So thank you for joining me from all around the world, wherever you are. It is absolutely cold here today, like freezing. In fact, Atlanta, I'm from the UK, as some of you know who've been following me, but Atlanta is actually colder than London. Atlanta is colder than London. So that name, Hotlanta, not today, not today. It is definitely cold Atlanta today. Trust me. It is, we just had our governor talking about, there's a storm coming. So it's not even at its coldest right now. It's going to get even colder. So there's a storm coming. Stay home. If you don't have to be on the roads, they said to stay home, stay off the roads. It's just that cold. And they said that the storm is going to probably bring, maybe some snow again. We had snow last week, which was just crazy to me anyway. But we had snow last week. It barely got melted just a couple of days ago, just the last few. And now we're expecting another cold front. But that craziness with the slush on the roads and so forth will last until about Thursday. So, just be careful out there. Just be careful. Just stay in your house if you don't have to go out at all. So if you're celebrating your birthday, and I know the Capricorn season has just ended. I'm a Capricorn. I celebrated my birthday on New Year's Eve, and then just the 3 weeks into January, so many people that I know have celebrated their birthdays are also Aquarius. So it's a real heavy season of birthdays and birthday celebrations. So happy birthday to the Capricorns. The Aquarius, it's your season now. DJ Charger is having his birthday this Saturday, and the DJ Tony B this Friday, Capricorn Madness, which was postponed from January the 10th. That's happening this Friday, January the 24th, over there at Grand Anse. And, if you want more information, log on to their pages, DJ Tony B, as well as DJ Charger. So yesterday was MLK Day, MLK Jr., Martin Luther King Jr. Day, birthday. Always a very nice time and a great reminder for us all about kindness and just the word. I love everything about Martin Luther King Jr. In fact, when I was in school, I did a project on Martin Luther King Jr. in the UK because I was so fascinated about him, his family, and everything that he represents. So I just want to play a clip of one of his videos. He has so many videos and speeches out. I just want to play a small clip, and then we are going to come back straight after the break to welcome my guests.
Don't let anybody make you feel that you are nobody. You are somebody. You have dignity. You have worth. Don't be ashamed of yourself, and don't be ashamed of your heritage. Don't be ashamed of your color. Don't be ashamed of your hair. I am black and beautiful, and not ashamed to say it.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt. You heard what the man said. Do not be ashamed. Do not be ashamed. This is all part of thriving in 2025. Just be who you are. I love when he said, don't allow anybody to make you feel like you are nobody. That is so true to the word. And I know that my beautiful guest, Soul Upliftment, my beautiful guest, Verrecia David, and I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She will correct me, and that will be okay if she does. So Verrecia David from Soul Upliftment, she is up there in good old Canada. I hope she's in Canada. I'm going to bring her to the stage. She will tell us all about exactly where she is. Verrecia, there you are. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm doing well.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us today. My viewers, my listeners, my viewers, people around the world, people who are going to watch the replay because we're going to post this everywhere. They're going to see you, get to know who you are. Like myself. So let me just give people a little bit of a history. We've recently met. I would say it was probably November online when we were on a Zoom together. And, everyone's kind of talking about what they do and, shouting out their businesses and so forth. And, and I invited all of the ladies on the Zoom to come on the show so we could talk a little bit more in depth and just to find out who you are and what you do. So first of all, where are you located?
I'm located in Richmond Hill, Canada, Ontario.
You are in Ontario. So how is the weather over there right now?
Well, it's freezing. Yesterday I was outside as I had to go into work, and it was biting. There's no words to describe. Like, I'm originally from Barbados, which is very hot, and it is the complete opposite. It is freezing here.
It is freezing. And you know what? I've been to Canada. I think I've only been once. And I deliberately went in the summer because I just could not. I've seen videos and so forth with people. And you know what? It doesn't matter how high it snows. You guys just get on with it, right?
Currently it's minus 15.
Wow. But you know what's crazy? We had snow here in Atlanta. Just one snowflake and the whole city shuts down. It's a state of emergency when that happens. So yes, but I'm from England, so I've been able to, I'm from England and I lived in DC, so I'm used to having snow, 10, 15 inches and you're still going to work and driving.
Yes, that is the same thing here.
Yeah.
Business as usual.
So let's start with just who you are, Verrecia. You know who you are as a person, your beliefs. You heard me play a little clip from Martin Luther King Jr. And I saw you nodding your head when you talked about, don't allow anybody to make you feel like you are nobody. I saw you nodding your head in agreement with that. What do you think about that statement, first of all? And tell us a little bit about what you do and who you are, because I know that kind of resonates a little bit into that.
Yes, I totally agree with the statement because as human beings, like we are very unique individuals, and there are some instances where persons make us feel inferior because of our skin color, the way we
Yeah.
speak, our our appearance, and we are not assertive that we should because like negative statements hurt our emotions, our self
Hmm.
confidence, the way we should carry ourselves. And, I am in complete agreement with that. We should never let anyone make us feel ashamed about who we are as unique individuals.
Right, exactly. Exactly. And so tell us a little bit about Soul Upliftment. That is your organization, correct?
Yes. First of all, when I wrote my book in 2020, Behind the Makeup, as I wrote that book and I did a little bit of self introspection, I thought about how I could make an impact
Hmm.
around the world with different individuals, especially women. We all have needs. We want to identify with someone. And I thought about myself, if I could at that time, if I could find someone to confide in, like probably things would have turned out different. And there, as I was writing the book, I thought about soul upliftment. How can women, we go through our different challenges, but we are so ashamed, we are embarrassed. If I tell this person, what would they
Mm,
think, you know? And if we can't find someone to confide or identify with, you know, sometimes we remain in Lodibar, down in the gutter. But how can my soul be lifted up if I speak out without being marginalized or
yeah.
in that sense of discrimination? Because as
Wow.
human beings, we are judged so much
All
about
the time. All the time. You
the
know,
different
and
challenges we encounter.
yeah. And if you're a brown or a black person, you add that, 10 times more
Yes,
than others. Or if your hair is a certain way, or if you wear a certain clothes, or you believe in something, just judgment is real. Judgment
yes,
is real. I liked what you said about soul upliftment. Like, how do you, what do people do? Certain people do other things, like you said, behind the makeup. People do go out into certain groups to get themselves, you have like these work groups that you can join and various things. For me, when I want to uplift myself, I write. I'm like you, I'm a writer. I'm also an author as well. So I definitely interested in your book and want to hear about your story on that journey. But I write. I get a journal. I get an empty book. I can fill an empty book in about 2 or 3 days. I can just
yes. I do the same thing. As soon as a thought comes, I write it down, and then later on, I think, how can I expand this? Like different
Mhm.
things, that come flood into your mind. It is so easy to just jot them down, and you'll be surprised what come out of that one single thought.
Yes, yes. No, I love it. And that's exactly how I started. I actually have three anthologies out. I'm in the middle of writing my own book. But my first anthology was I was going through something. I was in DC, I had no family in the area, and I was going through a divorce, a long time ago. And it just empowered me to just start writing, and I wrote so many different things and so many different angles, and I had to go back and rewrite certain things that I didn't want certain things that it was crazy. But then when it came to my second anthology, that was about my story,
Yeah.
and I pondered and pondered and pondered. I wrote about 3 or 4 lines. I kind of outlined it first, went to sleep, a couple of days, woke up. Well, I didn't go to sleep for a couple of days, but I went to sleep. A couple of days later, I decided, okay, let me just pick this up and continue writing. And I wrote it in about probably maybe 24 hours. It was done, the whole story. And I'm a woman of a particular age, so there's a lot of stories. But yeah, I managed to put it down, and just made it into a chapter. There's so much more to it too, so that's why I decided to write my own. So, what inspired you to? So tell us a little bit about the book. Like, what is in the book, chapter by chapter? What could we get from your book?
Okay, so my book is a personal testament of different events that happened in my life. And I wrote it because I want not I wanted others to learn from the different experiences that I encountered, and as they do introspection on their own on themselves, they will be able to pick little nuggets, little life lessons of what happened to me, and see how it can inspire them to bring about a change in their lives as well. So my book highlights a few events, one of them being I was born to ministers. As preachers' kids, you know how um, that world can go, being a child of the clergy. I became pregnant at 17. Who told me to do?
Ooh, oh dear.
Who
A
told
child of the clergy and
me?
pregnant at 17.
You know, um, so you know how that story would have gone. Becoming pregnant at 17, you're not married, and in those times it was so strict. Like my
Yes,
parents, they had to step down from the roles in their church. I was brought before the entire congregation. you know if you know that story in the Bible where they brought the woman that committed adultery, and they wanted to stone her. In my
yes.
case, that is how I felt then.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I lived a good few years of guilt and shame. You know,
Hmm.
um, first of all, bringing my parents through that ordeal. They were
Hmm.
not, of course, they're not the ones that encouraged me in that. It was a personal decision that I made,
Yeah.
to have sex without being married, but they're now being punished because of the act that their child committed. So I
Right.
lived a good few years living with that shame. And as the years went by, I began to think about it, and I said, you know what? One mistake does not define a person. And because
Exactly.
as human beings we judge persons because of their appearance, their social status, we
Hmm.
end up making costly mistakes by damaging that person's emotions, self confidence, you
Yeah.
know. And I thought, if I cannot be the only minister's child that have done this, first of all.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
And we tend to think that we're all alone on this journey when we're
Yeah.
going through different things. But I begin to realize, you know, I could never be the only one. So I thought, if I put this in writing, it can reach another person. Another
Yes.
person may not be handling the same situation how I handled it.
Hmm.
It may be
Correct.
affecting them in a completely different light. So I thought, if I journal this, it can bring perspective to another person's life and help
Yes.
them to bring about healing on their own journey.
Yes, no, I love it. And that's exactly what, even if you just help one person, you've helped someone else. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But of course, like you said, you're probably not the only person who've experienced something like that. My parents were not, I didn't grow up in the clergy, but my parents were very religious and they were in the church. But regardless of that, coming from the Caribbean, of Guyanese descent, it was something very similar to you. And I was in 17. I wasn't 17. I was actually 29. But I
Wow.
still felt the same way because one, I wasn't married and I wasn't living with my partner. So just to tell my parents that I was pregnant at the age of 29, even though I had, got my own place, job, car, work, it still didn't matter. If your parents are Christian, they believe in something and you were brought up in a certain way, you
Yeah.
still feel that at any age. So what I did was I spoke to my partner. I said, "Hey, we need to move in together because I can't tell my parents I'm married." So we basically moved in together, and while I was pregnant, and then I told my parents. So it felt a little bit easier. You know what I mean? Even though it didn't work out, I think by before the baby was even born, we were like broken up because we were forcing something that just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So but just as a Christian, I had to do what I had to do so that I could tell my parents. And funny enough, it actually worked out really well because they were on my side regardless. Like I said, I was older, independent, and so forth. But I definitely get where you're coming from. So behind the makeup, when did you actually write the book? Because you talked about going through years of living with this guilt. So between that time and writing the book, how long was that? And what kind of really pushed you to put it down on paper in the end?
Okay, so my son was born in 2004, and I actually got the courage in 2020 to actually put it down on paper.
Okay.
However, like during those years, um, I carried myself well regardless.
Mm-hmm.
I was always well put together, my face well done, my hair. You would never think that I am going through, all of these different little emotional struggles because I hid it in the way
Yeah.
I carried myself. So, hence the name behind the makeup. Because as individuals, as I said before, we are ashamed, we feel guilty about stuff, so we tend to put on a mask.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, we hide a lot behind, various things. And for me, like, yes, I still go to church and all of that. I participated in the various activities, but, there's always this little, there are people reminding you of your past or whatever, but I made
Mm-hmm.
sure, nevertheless, how I felt on the inside to always have myself well put together.
Yeah, yes. Good for you. But at the end of the day, there's a reason why everything happens in the way that it happens. It happens in exactly the way that God wanted it to happen. You just never know. Your son is a complete blessing.
Yeah,
God brought him here. Ultimately, he's the one who's in charge. Your son is a complete blessing. You just never know. Like, you could be going through years where you may need something. You just never know. And your son is the reason. He's here for a reason. And everything will be, revealed at some
yeah,
point further
yeah,
on down the line. I know of many people who are in your situation who had kids in teenage years. Growing up in England, a lot of my friends left school because they were pregnant or whatever the case may be. One particular case that I can think of, and no names mentioned, she ended up having MS. So she was only able to have that one child. So
yeah,
that child ended up being a blessing. So you just never know what is to come along the lines and along the way.
yeah.
So
At some point in time, there must be a breaking point, and you have to tell yourself, you know what, just forget about what people think. You know,
yes, yes,
yes,
absolutely.
we cannot allow negativity to constantly keep us under the shadows. We were
Yeah,
created to shine our light. We were born to reign. We are the righteousness of God in Christ as a believer. These are things that I keep telling myself. We are the ones that justify ourselves in the eyes of others, but God knows our hearts, and
Yes,
He
yes,
is the one that renews us. He's the one that is judging us, not others. And
exactly.
what people value, is detestable in the sight of God. So we have to know as individuals who we really are and just forget about what people think.
Oh, listen, absolutely. Let me go back to Martin Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s statement where he says, "Don't allow anybody to make you feel like you are a nobody." Um,
Yeah.
that is a true, true statement right there. So, we've got a couple of comments. Robin said, "Hi." Then she said, "Atlanta is like a brick. It really is." And Aquarius season, yes, her birthday is tomorrow. Happy birthday, Robin. Her birthday is tomorrow. So I'm just gonna just take one. This is how I do an ad break right now. I'm just gonna thank my sponsors just very quickly. So to Bacchanal TV, thank you for your sponsorship. Bacchanal TV is the Caribbean's number one, um, entertainment for carnivals and all things Caribbean. It's 100% Caribbean and run by, a friend of mine, small business. Go support Bacchanal TV. We also have Clark TV Network. We are live on Clark TV Network as well as Bacchanal TV and on YouTube. And Clark TV Network, a number of various shows for us, by us. So please, please support both of these channels. And also to my business, which is Caroline in the City. I'm also a realtor, Verrecia. I'm a licensed realtor here in Georgia. So I
Good
do
for you.
consultations for homes. I'm a new construction specialist. If you are in the market for a home, if you'd like to invest, buyers, sellers, please contact me so that I can work with you and start that free consultation. It's a 30-minute consultation, but it will get you started and get you on the map. All right, so we are back. We are back. So Dr. Martin Luther King Day, as you know, was yesterday. Um, this this was going around social media, which, I actually posted it myself. Don't know what's happening in your home on Monday, January the 20th, but in our home, we honor a king and not to celebrate a felon. Yes, I said it. So we had the inauguration yesterday of the new incoming president here in the United States, and already, I don't know, Verissa, have you seen any of the footage? I personally did not watch the inauguration. But the president has signed a number of pardons for all of the criminals of January 6th last year. Sorry, it wasn't last year. The January 6th insurrection. 1,500 pardons, which is quite a lot. So now we have another 1,500 folks running around, who are all been pardoned. But hey, like you said, we all have to just kind of look out for ourselves. We got to try and get through the next few years and just pray and hope that people who, are in this country also over in Canada, because I know you guys are having your own political issues going on over there. We
Yes, we
just need yeah, we just need to try to survive for the next few years and just hope we've got some very smart, logical thinkers running our countries because, ooh, it's about to get interesting. It's about to
yeah.
get interesting.
All we
So, what
can do is pray.
yes, exactly. All we can do is pray. You're absolutely right about that. So, soul upliftment, encouraging and empowering you to believe in yourself. I love that. I love that. So, when folks go to your pages, what can they find? What would they what would they learn about you and about your movement?
Okay, so as a believer in Christ, I believe in encouraging others, male and female, even though it's targeted mostly at women. Um, when they go to my page, they could find like different motivational quotes. Also, they can find like scripture verses and songs that back what I have written in those quotes. Um, Originally, the vision for Soul Upliftment is to help others in their financial space, even in providing like basic necessities, food and clothing, and those kind of things. And those persons that know me very well, they would know I would take my last and just give it to someone that is in need of something, anything. It doesn't matter what they say. And the entire long term vision is to be able to make this um, fully come to life without having to do it from my pocket. Yeah.
Yes, yes, good. That is a good statement. Yeah, giving, people don't realize when you give, you get back. You
Yes.
know what I mean? In so many different ways. It doesn't have to always be financial. I personally love to volunteer when I can, give my
Yes.
time because I know it's being, put to good use, and so forth. Giving money, I give when I can.
Yes.
But yeah, but time, giving goods, donating stuff, I do that all the time. I do that all the time. It's important, especially around the holidays, like times like now when it's so cold. You have so many people who are, without homes right now, and this cannot be easy on anyone. Um, and then some of them didn't ask to be without homes. They could just have gone through a real financial rough time where they were just one or two paychecks away from losing their homes. You just never know. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah, this is, I'm thinking of everybody who's out on the streets right now.
Yeah. In all things, you still must use wisdom because I realized in the past I was at a point where I was given to the point where I became depleted because I'm like, I just don't like, especially like single mothers and those persons. It
Hmm.
doesn't take anything off of me, I would just give it. But then I begin to realize like you cannot pour from an empty cup. So with
Exactly.
everything you do, you must still use wisdom and seek God's guidance on what you really want to do. So I believe giving entails is an all-round venture. Your time, finances, like you said, goods, you know,
Yeah, yeah. And you said
even
something
words of
really,
encouragement.
yes, of course. And you said something really true, that hits home to a lot of people, or should hit home to a lot of people. You cannot give from an empty cup.
Yeah.
It's like the same theory with, when you're on a plane, you put your seatbelt on first, and then, you help others because you've got to be able to help them put their seatbelt or whatever, but you got to put your seatbelt on first.
Yes.
But yes, you're absolutely right. You still have to make sure that you are whole, because at the end of the day, you can't be empty yourself. You can't be totally drained. You're not going to be any use to anybody else to help them. So you got to get yourself together. You're absolutely right about that. So I've got your book up here, Behind the Makeup. I love it. I see it's available on Kindle as well as hard copy, where can they get a copy of your book?
Okay, so my book is available on Amazon, or for
Mhm.
those in Canada, I do have copies. You know, if they want, they can reach out to me on my Instagram page. My number is also there. So, yeah, it's there on Amazon.
It's on Amazon. And when is the next book coming? Because I just can hear just from your voice that you have so much more inside there. You must be in the process of writing book
Yes,
number
I
two.
am. Yes, I am. It's on the way. I'm trying to get it out um, by my birthday, which is on the 21st of March. So,
Oh,
yes,
are
I
you
started.
Pisces? Is that Pisces?
Well, I'm not even sure, but because I don't really follow the horoscope,
Oh,
so
okay.
I am not sure whether it's either one of those or not.
I know a lot of people in my, I think it's the Pisces is next. But yeah, so 21st of March, you're hoping to get your book out by then. Okay, great. And what is the next book going to be about? What are you feeling on that book?
Well, the title of it, The Choices We Make, you know, how we go about making godly choices, how do these choices affect our overall outlook on life, our actions? Are they in alignment with what God would want us to be doing? You know,
Yeah,
things like that.
yeah, nice, nice. I love it. I love it. That is definitely sounds like it's going to be a good book because yeah, people do make certain choices. Some of them are not aligned with God, but like I
We do
said, I
them
think
anyway.
they do them anyway. But a lot of things happen for a reason. It could be a lot of lessons.
Yeah,
There's so many lessons in life, and I think once you get past, well, I would think that I'm over the halfway point already. And I have more years behind me than I do ahead of me. So choices for me now, I do not play with my
yeah,
choices. I'm very, very deliberate with the choices that I make. And that includes everything, whether it's food, first of all, because you are what you eat. I'm very, very deliberate with the choice of food that I select and that I buy and that I bring into my home. When I go out places, I'm very selective there. I'm also selective with people and energy, because that is a real thing.
yeah,
Having certain people around you, people who are close to you, people who you confide in. I'm just so very deliberate with a lot of things. I started last week. Last week I attended 3 funerals on Zoom. 3. And that was and then I heard of another passing of a someone we grew up with. She
yeah,
wasn't necessarily We weren't necessarily close, but it was someone that I grew up with. So that means that, and she was younger than me. So in this life, we're at that age now where we're just hearing about the good,
yeah,
bad, and the ugly,
yeah,
and death. I kind of didn't want to say the word, but yes. And it's just so much. 2025 have just started.
yeah.
This is crazy.
Even a couple days ago, I heard about one of my former teachers that just died, and that shook me up the entire
Mm,
Sunday afternoon. It was unbelievable. Like, all like now, I'm still wondering, how is it that
yeah,
everyone is just, passing?
yeah. Things are happening. Yeah, things are happening. So the moral of the story is to make great choices as you
Yeah,
go forward, because you just never know what is around the corner. So live your life on purpose. Show up for you. We
yeah,
show up for everybody else, right? We show up for everybody else. Why
yes.
not show up for yourself?
Exactly. Even if, like, every morning, how I came up with this idea, I was speaking to my daughter and I said, your life is all about the choices that you make. You understand?
Hmm.
Even if you wake up every morning and you say, today I choose to be happy,
Yeah.
today I choose to be productive. This will work out for me. All things are going to work for me today. Even if it's just simply saying that line. And then
Yeah.
I thought that is how, the book was birthed.
Yes, yes. No, I love it. I actually one year, and I saw this on, I think it was on Oprah. One year, I wrote down every week 5 things that I was grateful for, and I still have the book. That was a few years ago. 5 things that I was grateful for every week. It's not too late. I may actually start it. I may actually, because I do remember what I was grateful for in week one of 2025 after hearing what I heard with all these deaths. And then so I may actually go back to do that because I do want to write a book all about gratitude so that
Yeah,
people can realize that if God woke you up, that could be number one of your 5 because God woke you up.
yeah,
That is number one gratitude. You know what I mean? You are here. Um, you
exactly.
know, so that could be number one. So I do have one of your nuggets, and I deliberately left the Instagram page up there so that folks can see. This is Soul Upliftment. So if you would like to follow Verrecia on Instagram, this is her Instagram handle. Are you also, what other social media are you on,
On
Verrecia?
Facebook, I have a Facebook page, Soul Upliftment is the tag as
Okay.
well.
Okay. Do you have a website as well?
It is not up at the
Okay.
moment, but eventually it will go back there.
Okay, so you have Facebook and you have Instagram. So if you'd like to follow Verrecia, it is at Soul Upliftment, just Soul Upliftment. And I love the fact that you have music attached to a lot of your messages. So I was like, oh, I need to go put this on my playlist. So that so that's another thing that you are providing. You're providing some beautiful, uplifting music as well as your messages. So this one says, "Your destiny is not." Actually, you read it. Why don't you read it for us, please,
Your
Verrecia?
destiny is not determined by anyone's opinion of you. Let your light shine.
I love that. I want that on a T-shirt. I just love that. So this is Verrecia David. If you would like to be inspired by a lot of her messages and be uplifted, definitely follow her. Instagram page is Soul Upliftment. I love that. So, what inspires you to just where do you get your messages from? Do you wake up and think of a message, or do you have them sort of lined up so that you can say put them out every day, every week? What is the tactic behind this?
There's sometimes I am sleeping, like sometimes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. While I'm sleeping, I'm just hearing something, and I just wake up and I write it down. And I'm like, okay, I have to make this in a post. And sometimes they're just lying there in my phone, and I haven't
Hmm.
posted them for such a long time. And I'm like, no, these messages need to get out to person. So I
Yeah,
just create the post. But usually, um, they're just thoughts that pop into my mind, and I just jot them.
yeah. I love that. I love that. I have, my phone is ridiculous. I probably have about, well, I used to have almost 30,000 pictures and quotes and different, yeah, used to. I say used to because
I
I
thought
bought,
it was bad.
no, it's true. And I bought an external hard drive and I said, okay, I'm going to take out everything apart from just the last year. I keep just the last year in my phone because I like to go back and look at certain things. So I got it down to about 16,000, and I kind of paused. I don't know why. Here we are, a whole new year. So this is my promise to myself. I am going to clean things out a little bit more so I don't have so many. Because when I'm going to look for something, I am scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, and I can't find it.
Oh my god! I
So
thought
I'm
I was
so
the only one guilty of
no.
this.
You are not the only one. And even though I have lots of folders, what I'm mad, I have the iPhone. The iPhone, when you put it into a folder, it doesn't remove it from your main library. I'm like, remove it so I can, get to the rest. But it's crazy. It's a lot of cleaning up. There's a lot of cleaning up that we have to do. But I love this idea. Instead of me keeping it in my phone to myself, I really want to try and get things out there. And I have probably about 7 or 8 different social medias, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Then I have Instagram for my business and then for my show. And I have a lot. I can spread it around.
Yeah,
So yeah, I will take some time and I will do that. But I love these messages. Someone is going through something and they, go and grab their social media and they start to scroll through and they see a message like this. And if it's here every day, it's very uplifting. It's something that you can really, you read and you think, oh, I'm here. First of all, I woke up. Always remember that if you're reading it, you woke up.
exactly.
That is number one. And then number two, just reading some uplifting messages or listening to the music is definitely a plus. Can't be anything else but a plus.
Yeah.
So, what messages do you have for the viewers? What would be your lasting message to them as we begin to close?
Okay, what I would like to encourage others, refuse to settle, seek help,
Yeah.
and invest in yourself. A little self investment can go so far.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
there must be one person that you can find to confide in, and if not, they're certified workers,
Mm-hmm.
who you can find um, that level of confidentiality where you can receive direct and informative information
Yeah.
that can help pull you out of whatever challenges. And one of the ideal things, pray, seek God, ask him to help you. He's not going to tell anyone anything.
Yes. Yes. Exactly. Have faith and
Yes,
pray. Pray for
yes,
what you want.
exactly. And he can also direct you to the correct person where you
Mm-hmm.
can seek guidance. But to suffer in isolation could never be an option.
Yeah, yeah. But like you said, some people think of it being, they're living with guilt or they're ashamed or they have all these other reasons. There's always another reason why they don't want to take that first chance.
Yeah,
But like you said, there's got to be at least one person that you can confide in. And I think as, like I said, as we get older, there's less things that what you thought was so important,
yeah,
it really doesn't matter anymore. Like you said, we don't really, you know, ponder about what other people think.
yeah,
You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what they think of you. It matters what you think of you.
exactly.
So, always remember that. Definitely, this is some good advice, Verrecia.
Yes,
So,
you as the individual have to speak life into yourself.
mhm,
Don't wait
yeah.
for others to do it. Just start with you.
Just start with you. I love it. I love it. That's the man in the mirror, as Michael Jackson would say. You got to start with the man in the mirror. I was playing that the other day, and I was like, gosh, he has some great words. He has some great words in his songs, and that's one of them. So, well, I just want to say this was such a great conversation. I've learned so much about you.
Yeah,
Thank you for joining me. Thank you for we had a couple of dates where we were playing around, but I'm finally glad that we got it together this week. Each week I have an amazing guest on this show. Next week is no different. So join me again next week, Tuesday at 11 o'clock. And I promise I will be on time this time. It's only for an hour, 11 till 12. So please, Verrecia, thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to continue with, I do have a couple of ads that I've got to show, and then I want to finish on time at 12 o'clock to be respectful of everybody's time. So thank you so much for joining me. This was a great conversation. This was a great conversation. And I
thank
look
you.
forward to reading your second book. And, I'm going to check out your Behind the Makeup book, which is available on Amazon.
Yes. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. And stay warm up there.
Of
in
course,
Canada.
I only go out when necessary.
Right, right. Me too. Me too. That's where I am now. But thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Okay, guys. So this was that was Verrecia David. I'm going to continue and show you some other things that are happening here in the ATL. Like I said, this coming Friday, January the 24th, we have Capricorn Madness. Capricorn Madness. This was postponed from January 10th because of the weather. So now it is happening again. So Aquarius and Capricorn, you are both invited. It's Capricorn Madness. It's a sneaker ball. So come in your fancy clothes and, you can wear your sneakers. No judgment. It is a sneaker ball. So come on out this Friday. Also, we have new date due to inclement weather. This is Sunday, the 26th of January. It is Mad Colors band launch, of course, party and costume presentation. Atlanta Carnival 2025. The theme, it doesn't say what the theme is on here, but it's the band launch for Mad Colors, so you know it's going to be big. So they have Back to Basics, One Gal Army, Unique Sounds, DJ Cuts, and Super Roy DJ on the ones and twos. So coming out for a good time at Mad Colors band launch. Bacchanal TV, thank you so much for your sponsorship. Clark TV Network, thank you for your sponsorship. Of course, Dalgety teas. Now is the time. Now is the time for your herbal teas, folks. This is the season. Well, you can drink it all year around, but this is the season for those herbal teas. Make sure you grab your Dalgety teas and C3 Design Business. Thank you for your sponsorship. If you are in the business for buying, selling, or investing in real estate, please give me a call. Free consultation, 202-550-2923. Interest rates are coming down. Now is the time to start preparing yourself for that purchase. I'm actually going to do a show on real estate. I'm going to be joined by Ashley Johnson. She is a realtor as well as a broker, and she and I will talk about real estate. There'll be a show all about real estate just to help you. We'll be talk about your credit score. We're going to talk about things that you can do today to help yourself, and including free consultation with either herself and me. I support, I'm a realtor here in Georgia. Ashley covers South Carolina, and we are going to talk about real estate. So watch out for that show. It is coming up soon. And this coming Friday, the promo show is back. We are back this Friday in the studio, live and direct. Coming to you live and direct from CLTB Studios. This coming Friday, catch myself alongside Danny, who will talk hot topics. We got a lot of hot topics this week. A lot of things have happened. So join us this Friday from actually the new time is at 6 p.m. So this flyer will be updated, but join us this Friday for the promo show. And that is it. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining me again today on the lunch date. As always, it was a great show. I'm excited about this year. We've got so much in store. It's like I said, we'll be talking about finances, about taxes, real estate, a lot of things to kind of help you, thrive in 2025, as well as travel. I am a travel expert as well, so I'll be talking a lot about travel and destinations. So make sure you tune in every Tuesday at 11 o'clock and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I go live.